Boom! What's up, Waves Capital? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, we are going to be talking about how the October CPI report, which was just released, has catalyzed a major rally in the equity markets. We're going to be talking about why investors are feeling so optimistic following the results of this inflation data. Hint, hint, it's getting chilly. But mainly, I want to talk to you about why I believe the next phase of the macro bull market cycle has officially begun. We're going to take a look at some charts to reinforce that fundamental belief with the technicals, of course. And at the very end of the video, we will rapid fire a few specific names, a few growth stocks, small caps that I'm especially excited about right now that are on absolute fire today and really creating for some meaningful gains in the Waves Capital portfolio, which we definitely needed after the beginning of this week. Okay, so that's the video, you guys. We'll kick it off by reading over the Trade Alert / macro analysis newsletter that I just finished writing before I hopped on to record this video for you guys. So we'll read through this guy. We're really not going to dive deep on the specifics of this October CPI report because you guys can just go Google that and find that pretty much anywhere. What I want to focus on today is the market's reaction to this CPI report, some of the psychology that's in play right now, and once again, just talk to you guys about some stocks that I'm super pumped about. Okay, so that's the video, you guys. Before we get into it, before we get to reading, please give the video a like if you go on to gain value from it. And of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, join the Waves fam and hit that subscribe button, okay? Hit that subscribe. It's Thursday, and the October CPI data has been released. We're cooling down, team, finally. October, so we will go into some specifics, but this is all the specifics we're gonna cover, okay? October's consumer price index rose just 0.4% for the month and 7.7% from a year ago. Its lowest annual increase since January and a slowdown from the 8.2% annual pace in the prior month. Economists were expecting an increase of 0.6% and 7.9% according to Dow Jones, excluding volatile food and energy cost. So-called core CPI increased 0.3% for the month and 6.3% on an annual basis, also less than expected. Okay, so similar to earnings, you guys, analysts project estimates for what the inflation reading should be, or what earnings, what revenue should be, EPS, etc. And when anything comes in below or above analyst expectations, you're going to see a significant move in that direction. And right now, investors are excited for this reason, primarily that I'm about to cover. Okay, so as I'm sure you've already noticed, the markets are absolutely ripping in the wake of this news as investors become more optimistic about a potential Fed pivot. I mean, I put that in quotes because that's the headline you're just seeing everywhere today. Personally, though, I think it's more so that investors finally have a signal that inflation has officially peaked and the capital markets can begin to work on the rebuilding phase and/or the next bull market cycle. Remember, the economy and the stock market are not the same. I'll reiterate that. The economy and the stock market are not the same, you guys. I say that all the time, but you got to remind yourself of that. The stock market is a lagging indicator to the economy due to its efficiency in pricing in foreseeable economic headwinds. As of today, what has been a stormy sky is looking much clearer, okay, you guys? So the dust is finally beginning to settle, and again, we can now focus on rebuilding now that it's pretty unlikely inflation goes up from here, especially with all the white-collar job cuts, all the demand destruction that we are currently witnessing before our eyes. Okay, so NASDAQ is having the best day since 2020 with a 6% gain, and ARK Innovation ETF is having its best day since its inception way back in 2014. The equity markets are hot, but the Waves portfolio is on fire today. You guys, if you're part of the portfolio, if you are eating good today, please let me know in the comments down below. This remains a stock picker's market, and we continue to do a great job at picking out the gems. At the time of writing, our 12/16, December 16th, Carvana calls are up $170%, 170%, well over a 2x, almost a 3x. Our 12/16 Unity calls are up 175%, and our 12/16 plug calls are up 180%. just to shout out a few of the MVPs. But keep in mind, you guys, these are just 3 of what I believe. I think there are 9 or 10 call positions in the Waves portfolio right now. So I remain bullish on these positions, but on days like today, it'd be foolish not to lock in some profits and reallocate that capital into what I believe will be the next wave of winners. We'll talk specifics below, but first I need to give a big cheers to us team. We had a plan and we stuck to it. Many were scared out of the markets in recent days, but we stood strong through the volatility, and now we're reaping the rewards of our efforts. So, cheers team, steak and sushi this weekend for sure. Let me know in the comments down below. If it's not steak and sushi for you, what is it? What is your celebratory meal? And yeah, you guys, if you were able to weather the storm, if you stood your ground, if you really kept your mental, you were exercising mental fortitude this week and discipline, then you deserve it, right? If you can weather the storm, if you can stand strong when most can't, then you deserve the gains that come with it. Okay, that's the investing and trading game. Okay, or maybe not day trading, but swing trading game for sure. So, cheers, you guys. Let's dive into the charts and talk, reinforce the fundamental bullishness with. So we're going to parlay into, once again, some small cap plays, some exciting plays. Take a look at Bitcoin. Take a look at ARK ETF. These things are ripping. There's 5 minutes till market close. So I'll try to wrap this up really rapid fire so I can get back into the portfolio right before the market closes. Maybe alter some positions. But Dixie, the US dollar index. Real quick here because we just covered this. We'll do rapid fire on the Dixie and SPY. Dixie has broken below the line of support on the ascending channel it's been in since February. So since the beginning of this year, the Dixie has been in an ascending channel. Just said in the last video, if the Dixie breaks below this, that is such a good sign that assets will continue to appreciate. So equities, cryptocurrency, gold, silver, anything that's not the dollar up, assets down, and vice versa. Dollar down, dollar has broken support, dollar has broken the uptrend. It is now officially reversed into a downtrend from a macro long-term perspective. This is very good news for the equity markets. Pretty much everything that's not the dollar. And yeah, good stuff there, you guys. So the S&P 500 up 5.5%, insane. NASDAQ up 7.5%. This is the craziest day. Again, as I just said, NASDAQ seeing its best day since 2020. ARK seeing its best day since its inception in 2014. Bonkers, you guys, okay? So the S&P 500 right now, October CPI report, this is why I had it labeled. This is why the price target's there. And this couldn't be playing out any more beautifully. So I do think the SPY will make its way up over the coming, maybe even tomorrow to be honest, but definitely over the coming week to test macro resistance from its all-time high. First touch point, I should say, being its all-time high in January of this year. Next touch point, very, very clear line of resistance here. Stokes, let's take a look at Stokes curling to the upside. RSI, EMA broken back above, so exponential moving average. The RSI has broken back above that. Very good news, very, very bullish, and I do think the SPY will come up to retest broken support as new resistance, as well as again, just overall macro resistance on the downtrend. My price target for the S&P 500 is 410, and I would advise you guys, if you are trading calls, to take some profits on all calls once the SPY sees that level, because the SPY is the benchmark index for the US equity markets. Bitcoin, then ARK, and then we'll take a look at, we'll take a look at Carvana, Unity, and Plug Power as well. Just the names that I mentioned there, okay? Rapid fire. Maybe Matterport because they announced earnings after hours. We'll see how that does. So Bitcoin, really zoom out here. Sorry, there's a lot going on this chart, but this is reassuring, and I just talked about this in the newsletter. So Bitcoin looking great. Bitcoin has pretty much come down to retest broken macro resistance as new supports, and I really do think, again, because I believe the bull market's back, I think that 15K right there that we just saw a few days ago in the wake of the FTX madness was the bottom, and I do think Bitcoin ultimately over the coming months, I'll say by 2023. Early 2023 at the latest, I think Bitcoin will come up to retest the prior low on the overall downtrend at about $26,700. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Take a look at ARK. ARK looking awesome right now. I think short-term ARK bounces to test medium-term resistance dating back to March. So medium, longish term resistance right here. I think ARK makes its way back above $40 in the short term. But macro, I do think ARK can make its way up over the next quarter, over the next month or two, to test long-term resistance on the overall downtrend dating back to its all-time high in February of 2021. If we test this, let's just say let's just say May of 2023. Worst case scenario, I think ARK can make its way back up above $50. And we'll probably just coast around there for a while. But I think we are very oversold, and a significant bounce from here is due. Okay, so that's ARK. Let's take a quick look at Carvana, Unity, Matterport, and Plug Power. Whereas I think Plug Power is right there. So Carvana on absolute fire. Obviously, Carvana seeing insane from top to bottom, peak to trough in August of 2021. In the past year, Carvana has corrected 98%. This is one of the craziest charts I've ever seen. 375 at its peak. Hit a low just a couple of days ago of where we're like below $5, or actually no, here, sorry, let's make this a little bigger, and actually I'll go very short term soon, but hit a low of $6.60, down almost 90% from its August highs. And this is absolutely crazy. It's $58 on August 16th, and then it went down to $6 again, like almost a 90% correction just in the past couple of months, which is insane. But we'll actually go 15 minutes. I'll explain these to you guys, and I've been talking about this in the newsletter, and it's been panning out freaking beautifully. So, short term, I do think Carvana did play out this little inverse head and shoulders pattern. Love to see that. Took a little bit of profits there. Took more profits today for full transparency. But I do think this thing can run. I will say I'm still holding a meaningful amount of in-the-money Carvana calls, or just about right on the money, to give you guys a hint. But I do think Carvana can come up to $12 to retest at least the prior low of this broken level, because this is straight up no man's land right here where we're at. So I do think Carvana comes up to at least $12. And hey, maybe they get acquired, and I wouldn't doubt the fact at all that some private equity fund somewhere, especially now that the bulls are coming back, scoops up Carvana for pennies on the dollar, because this company does like $3 billion in revenue per quarter, and it's currently valued at just under $2 billion, which is insane. So Unity dumped yesterday, like fell off a cliff in after hours yesterday following their earnings call. I thought it was a good earnings call, but investors were scared. Today is a great example of just how wild this market environment is. Up 30%, you guys, up 30%. Again, our calls are just printing today. I'm not going to make market close, but that's perfectly fine, you guys. I'm stoked on the trading I've done today in my positions. And before we close it out with Matter and Plug Power, you guys, if you want to know how I'm trading on a day-to-day basis, if you want a full breakdown of my complete portfolio, along with the daily newsletter, again, trade alerts, macro newsletters that I write every day. And then after I finish writing this, as I'm uploading it, I'm going to send out the price targets newsletter covering all of the names that are very significant today, following up on the Matterport earnings. But if you guys want to join Waves Capital for real, hit the first link in the description box down below. That'll take you to my complete portfolio and daily newsletter. From here, you select the pricing plan. Simple, pretty obvious. 15 bucks a month, 40 bucks for every 3 months. Or try it free for 7 days, and if you don't like it, you can just bail out. But I trust you'll be sticking around. And if you do, welcome to the winning team in advance, you guys. I appreciate you. And yeah, welcome to Waves Capital. Unity. Looking great. I think the short-term Unity, let's go 4-hour chart, 4-hour candles here. I think in the very short-term, Unity can at the very least come up to test like short to medium-term resistance dating back about a month. 29 bucks if we test it tomorrow, which I think is entirely possible. But ultimately, you guys, I think Unity can make its way up to retest. Let's actually change that red to match that. I think Unity can make its way up to retest a broken support as new resistance. Their earnings call, their Q3 earnings were great yesterday. I think it was very impressive, and I think Unity is a very undervalued company at its current market cap of 11.5 bill. I think actually TradingView is a little laggy, so that might be even lower than that. 11.5 bill I think is a steal for Unity. And I do think in the short term, we can make a bounce back up to $39 by mid-December. Let's take a look at Plug Power, and then we'll close it out with Matterport. And again, you guys, just look at all, like, so many names on the watch is doing well. SoFi, full transparency, did scoop up some more SoFi calls today just because I feel it's a safe play. So, I mean, Plug Power doing kind of exactly what I thought it would do. Plug Power making its way up, really quickly approaching broken support as new resistance. I think this is a great trade, and that's why I took it on a few days. I mean, I think I took it on about a week ago. Definitely when it was just kind of flattened out over here. So Plug Power, massive move up today. Options out of fire. I think Plug tomorrow, maybe whenever it happens, I think Plug will come up to retest broken support as new resistance. TA 101. Bringing Plug, again, November 16th, just where the curse is falling, to a price of $18.40, okay? And if we break back into this channel, I think it's entirely possible that Plug comes up to test the top end of the range, maybe even make its way back up to $30 prior to the end of the year or going into Q1 of 2023. Closed out with Matterport about to announce earnings. No after hours price action just yet that I'm seeing, but again, I'll follow up in the newsletter right after this. Matterport so ridiculously oversold. This company is growing at an impressive rate based upon their Q2 earnings. That's why we saw this move following Q2 earnings. So let's hope history probably doesn't repeat itself, but hopefully it does rhyme. I trust it will. I think Matterport in the very short term will come up at the very least another like 6-7% to retest this prior low on the short-term downtrend. But ultimately, guys, I think that by year end, and I will say I'm holding some January calls for Matterport that I believe are an absolute steal going to earnings, and I do think Matterport can. I mean, I think Matterport deserves to be back in the double digits, if I'm being honest. When that'll happen, I don't know, but I do think it will be coming sooner than later, okay? That's the video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed that little rapid fire. You know what? Just the cherry on top, we'll take a look at Riot. I think Riot will make its way up to test resistance. Given the fact that Bitcoin's looking strong right now, I think Riot can make its way up in the not-so-distant future, in the coming week, another 20% to test resistance on the downtrend right here, this cyan line. And again, if we test it, let's just say November 18th. November 18th right there. If we test it on November 18th, that would take us up to about $6.75. Okay, so that's quite the impressive bounce, and it's nothing that we haven't seen before, so wouldn't be surprised at all to see it. That's the video, you guys. Again, if you want to join Waves Capital, it's the first link down below, and yeah, I appreciate it. Also, I'll see you guys in the comments downstairs. Let me know what you are thinking about everything going on, if you're prepared going into today, and if you were, once again, cheers to you. It's deserved. It's well deserved. If you made it through the week and you stood your ground, those who can stand strong will be rewarded, and hard times make for strong soldiers. All right, so heads up always, team. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the comments downstairs. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.